Hey, Trisha. I hope you're doing well. Brian Sikansky here. Just wanted to give you a little bit of context for some of the copy that I sent over. And then there was a few ideas in kind of digging a little bit deeper in terms of your marketing that I think would help you get even more revenue and get you to that $1 million goal that you're looking for a lot quicker. So I'll just start with kind of your ads here. So I'm a copywriter that focuses on moms specifically and kind of Facebook ad funnels in particular. So I just want to kind of point out a couple of different things that stuck out to me as I looked at your ads, not only the new ones, but the ones that you launched even going back into July. So, and then I'll give you a little bit of context in terms of the copy that I sent you. That again, you're just free to test and see how it performs versus what you're running right now. So, in terms of the newer ads, like going through your case studies, I really think your case studies are really amazing. So, I think they really speak well to obviously the heart of the problems for a lot of these homeschool moms, especially the ones that are have more of that Christian faith. So I love what you're doing there. So I don't know if that again, you might be building out your funnel here, and these might be just retargeting ads to people that have visited your website. But in any case, I want to go back to kind of these original ads down here and kind of give you the perspective of kind of the mom audience, especially as they're coming through. These are longer ads for you, but really think about kind of these first few lines as not exactly selling your program, especially if they're seeing this ad for the first time and they've never heard of Journey, your company before. Like, this first line in particular kind of just sticks out as like, okay, this is an ad and I'm going to keep scrolling, instead of kind of really thinking strategically about these first few lines as just a way to kind of catch their attention, to stop their scroll along with, the image and the headline. I want to really think about these first few lines as like, how can I catch their attention, stop their scroll, and get them hitting that see more button? Because again, until they hit that see more button, they're not going to see the rest of your ad, see what differentiates your company or your offering as they go about doing that. So just kind of a thing to keep in mind. These first few lines aren't meant for them to immediately click through, but it's just kind of think of it as kind of a headline to get them to hit that see more button. And as they read down the page and get more of your benefit statements, that's when they're more likely to click along the way. The more clicks that they make on your ad, the more likely they are to eventually click through to the other side. So what my approach really was, and kind of looking at this ad, but also your newer ads, is how can we combine the two, really catch the attention of your audience, but also speak to the problems that they are having right now. And as I read through the testimonials, I thought each of those case studies were a great representation of kind of demonstrating, how your program really helps moms that are looking to, outsource some of that homeschooling to experts, especially within the science field. So we go to my ads in particular right here. Again, what I did was just take two of your case studies and take some of those stories and put it within kind of the typical formula that I use for companies and coaches that focus on moms. And I know, just based on the numbers, that it's high converting. So again, the difference between your ads and kind of my approach is I want to get people to that landing page. I want to, kind of use this as a first impression to say, I know where you're sitting right now, but, and this is why, like Journey Homeschooling Academy is differentiated, and here's how we can help you by kind of, and it's a longer form ad, but again, you can see the frameworks, and I'll walk you through step by step on how it works. Again, it just as a test to run against what you're running right now. And again, it gets people directly as they click through using that same landing page that you're using for your original ad. So again, going to your website and potentially getting that sale right away if you're running a conversion ad. So the first part is really thinking about these first few lines as a way to kind of catch their attention, where exactly they are right now. So for this first case study with right here, what I use is kind of like a Sarah McKenzie. She's an author that you probably know within which has the same audience as you. Use one of her quotes that is really relevant to this case study, talking about there's not enough time to do all these things, especially based on this case study that has, going through a homeschooling mom of 9 and really sharing her story. So it's all about kind of like catching their attention in these first few lines to say like, okay, here's a story about a mom just like you that's going through the same, struggles, and how she potentially got on the other side. So for this one, so kind of just catching their attention. And again, this looks like more like a regular post that they would see on Facebook or in one of their groups. It doesn't look like an ad, especially as you look at these first few lines. And that's the idea, is we want to get them scrolling, get them engaged in the story. And that's where we can we can get out some of the benefit statements by sharing some of these case studies. So I start by kind of just, kind of meeting them where where the audience is by talking about, the problem that they're dealing with. So again, kind of talking about, in this case study, all about not having enough time, especially, and not giving, this older child, this 15-year-old, enough attention that he needs. And then kind of teasing out the potential solution. So again, talking about all the great things that happened and how, Chase is now teaching the rest of the kids and how that's kind of lowering the burden for this mom. And then kind of getting into your unique formula, again, without going through all the features and benefits, going through why your method is different, how it allows them to kind of develop a deeper understanding, and talking about how he'll test out of college level biology at this point. And then really getting it down to like, okay, like if you're ready to do this, like here's the link right away. So what you're kind of seeing in this ad is I'm really combining your case studies and taking the best parts of those case studies and using it for the Facebook ad, and then going directly for the sale, like sending people to that website so they can explore the course that is right for them, and signing up right away instead of going to that case study page, reading more about the story, and hoping that they eventually explore the courses. So it's just one less step. What I'm hoping to do is kind of catch their attention, kind of wrap them in the story, showing that there's a mom just like them who had that same problem, and your offering was able to solve it. And the same thing with this one. Again, bringing out one of the quotes from the case study to kind of catch their attention, these first few lines, and then getting, again, meeting them where they are, talking about the benefit statements, and eventually going down to your website at the end. So if we come down to your website, one of the things that I would say, like as you go to the landing page, and this is something that a lot of education companies that I worked with, this was one of the first suggestions, is stop sending people directly to your website, because, when we look at this, there's a lot of distractions here. When they come to this page, they're not really sure where to look. You're not really holding their hand and letting them know what action you want them to take. So they could just start hitting the buttons up here and kind of get distracted by, whatever it is, in terms of exploring courses or about us or whatever it is. And for a lot of people, they might not even scroll. So there's, for this right here, this might catch their attention. It might not. But what I would suggest is maybe putting like a short video that kind of allows you and your husband to kind of take the audience by the hand and introduce yourself and introduce your program and introduce all the, kind of remind them of the differentiating features, and then kind of direct them to say like, okay, if you want to learn more, here's all the offerings below. Scroll down to elementary level A, depending on what type of kids you have. The other thing you can do is put buttons right below it that gives them almost like a quiz that says like, okay, I have elementary school kids, I have middle school kids, I have high school kids. So it takes them directly to the section really quickly without having them to scroll right away. But I think kind of just one of the things, by using a video, I think you and your husband are very good at kind of building that connection with your audience. You as a mom that's very much into homeschooling can immediately make that connection with them, and they're going to build up that know, like, and trust factor as well. So use the fact that you're a mom, that you're very much into homeschooling, that you're into your Christian faith, and use that right from the start, and allow people to meet with you. Don't wait for them to register for a webinar or something down the road, or hit that explore button. Allow them to meet you right away, direct them to where they should go next, and don't give them a long list of options for them to, like, where they should go. Again, you should have one button or a series of buttons that's relevant for the elementary school, middle school, high school, so they can go directly to what's relevant for them. And if if they're not interested in that, they just close the window. Because again, a lot of these moms are, get distracted easily. They'll click on one of these buttons. They'll get distracted by something that their kid is doing in the background and lose focus. And you've kind of lost their attention and lost the ability to kind of build that relationship. But again, if you come to a specific landing page that only really has one option, either explore the relevant course or close the window, but also combining that with a short video that gives them a little bit more information about why your course, why your list of courses is differentiated, and talking about how it integrates that Christian faith, they're going to be more likely to take the action that you're looking for. And that's not to say that you have to change around your website, but kind of just creating a separate landing page that has a fewer amount of options, that kind of takes your audience by the hand and kind of gives that proper introduction, I think would go a long way in terms of not only getting more results, but kind of lowering the cost per lead that you're getting right now. So those were just a few of the things that kind of stuck out to me. And the other thing, kind of just going back to your website, is, if people come to this Journey Homeschool Academy, they find it through a Google search, they find it through your ads, whatever it is, give them an option of continuing the conversation. So again, like you have the Intoxicated by Life, email list. Give people some kind of option at the bottom or somewhere else to kind of continue that conversation, because very well that a lot of these moms are doing research. They're looking at so many different curriculums. By staying in their inbox and continuing that conversation, you might not get them as a client right away, but if you can kind of continue to stay in front of them, again, you might pay for a Facebook ad right now, that if they can get on an email list, or continue that conversation, that's where you can potentially get a return on investment 6 months down the road, or maybe a year down the road. Again, they might have already bought a science curriculum for this upcoming year, and they find out along the year that it's not exactly what they were looking for. So you don't want them to start that whole process over again and try and find you. If they're on your email list the whole entire time and you're having that conversation and they're getting to know you, that makes it more likely that they're going to have you top of mind. They're going to say, like, okay, this science curriculum isn't working, but maybe I'm going to try Journey, because along the way, Trisha has been mentioning all the pain points that I've been going through, and that seems like a better solution. So just a few things that might be helpful, and hope you're doing well.